This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
He obviously likes that slick scenario, and he thinks that he can make up a lot of ground in this part. We see got a left front tire down for Jamie McMurray.
Yeah, left front. Must have made some contact with someone.
The inside, outside, hold it, now to the bottom,
Just one thing about this new car.
All right, toward the fender, pretty good.
Getting dark and this racetrack cools off a lot. What's this car going to do? Am I going to lose this big advantage, or what's going to happen? So he's probably saying, hey, go to the bottom of the racetrack, try it out down there a little bit, go back to your regular group. Let's just see what we got here for us. Because one thing is going to change, we do know that. These conditions are going to get much cooler. Cars are going to handle a lot different, guys.
Hey, Rusty, I was just wondering if there's probably 42 other crew chiefs saying, hey, this is where the 48's running, in case you're wondering.
That's
He's
a
long
tire.
gone.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to say, Kurt Busch is around. What, we got a
Left rear tire.
left rear tire down on it. You saw the outer part of the tread laying on the bottom of the racetrack. He did a good job holding on that baby, guys.
Kurt Busch bringing out caution number
We just
3.
front here, guys. He's in 2 rolling.
Pat Tryson there, the crew chief, looking on, a little disappointed. Obviously, with hoping Kurt could have a good run here. He will have to just gingerly get that car back toward pit road.
The cap of the tire just came, yeah, it did. Just comes off.
Wow, just right in front of David Ray. Oh, and then Ryan Newman hits it with the
His
front end of
teammate.
his car. Yeah,
And
that's the way it works out.
crazy things happen, but
Cup championship season. Caution on the racetrack, and Joe Nemechek has hit a ton in his Chevrolet. Heavy right side damage.
Well, he's pounded something here.
Caution for the 4th time.
Yeah, I'm okay. It got loose, it turned a bunch sideways, and I thought I had it saved, and it wrecked it back. Drive shaft knocked out of it.
That's what he's talking about is the over. Now you see this is Joe Nemechek right here, coming off the corner. You see, he had already made that overcorrection and pounded that ball. Boy, I tell you, he was probably lucky that they had those safer barriers up there to hit.
Under caution for the 5th time tonight here at Auto Club Speedway of Southern California. Debris on the racetrack. NASCAR Nationwide Series for Rusty Wallace Incorporated here in 2008.
hey, you mentioned who he's going to drive for. We really haven't said Tony Stewart's name all night long. He's sitting in 14th spot, and that's kind of where he's been running most of the night. He hasn't been spectacular, but he hasn't, hasn't obviously gotten lapped or anything like that. It's just been kind of a so-so run. We have to see Robbie Gordon spinning here.
He picked up some grass, so he spins around, doesn't hit anything.
Running off it, I'm sure.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a ton of cars spin out as loose as these cars have been all night.
Plowed up some turf there with the splitter on the front of his Dodge.
It's okay, but I'm pretty sure it's ripped the front end off it.
It looks better than you think, Robbie. It does have some damage, but
Yeah,
this thing's pretty
up there.
tough.
This guy's getting down the apron and stuff. Oh, no, he's up at the wall.
Hang on to her. Just can't quite get it back straight right here. See, he picks up a ton of that dirt and grass up in that splitter.
That's where he's thinking that he got a lot of damage to that front splitter, but doesn't look like from here. Well, he's got some of the braces loose, though, doesn't he?
Never give up. 5 laps to go.
I can remember when our good old buddy, the late Benny Parsons, first saw Greg Biffle running winter heat in Tucson on ESPN. He said, and what impressed Benny was just what we saw a moment ago, that Biffle used every inch of racetrack and did whatever he could to drive the wheels of that car from lap 1 to lap 100 that night, and somehow managed to pass cars that were a lot better than him.
He drove for me a few races in his rookie season in this division, and he used up more than the racetrack. He'd use up the right side of my car up against that wall.
Jimmy Johnson trying to hold on for 5 more laps. It has been the kind of night that drivers dream of. Mike.
And Doc, I think you mentioned earlier that he may be serving notice, and that may be the case. You know, as the chase begins to shape up, it's only natural for teams to start sizing themselves up against the competition. And when it comes to the 4018, they are not intimidated by anyone. I spoke with Chad Canals a little bit earlier says, hey, we beat the 24 team last year, a team that ended the season with a record 30 top 10 finishes. He says that battle was brutal, and it's given them the confidence to believe they can beat anyone, no matter how good a season they're having. In particular, he was referencing the 18 and the 99. They feel like they've got a legitimate shot at 3 championships in a row, and they look pretty good tonight.
Mike, you can count on one finger the number of drivers in the 60-year history of NASCAR that have won 3 consecutive Cup titles in a row. The only one to do it was Cale Yarborough.
Tough competitor in his time, no doubt. And Jimmy Johnson is that this day and time. And I think as we see A.J. Allmendinger finally taking that spot away from David Reagan and those 3 points that Reagan needed.
Back to 20th position and back to 20 points. Back to 20 points behind. They back up, start 14th position, back to 20 points behind. And these positions are important for A.J. Allmendinger because of the fact he is trying to get this car in the top 35 in point standings.
Yeah, I think he's done that pretty solidly. Right now, as the owner's point sit, Robbie Gordon is in that 35th spot. Michael Waltrip 34th.
2 laps to go for Jimmy Johnson to pick up his 3rd win in 2008. And what has impressed me as much as what he's done on the racetrack is what Chad Knaus and these guys have done behind the wall. Despite the fact they had the car that had everybody covered, every time they came in, they would go outside the envelope and make an adjustment to try to get the car better.
Well, you can't sit there and be too careful with this. You have a good race car. You can't let those guys catch up. I think everybody in the sport's done that at some point in time, and Chad Knaus wasn't going to let that happen tonight with this race car and this race team.
Jimmy Johnson began the week coming out to his hometown of El Cajon. He wanted to give back his 2nd annual golf tournament to raise money, $500,000 for the Habitat for Humanity to build homes for people who didn't have them. They handed the keys, he and wife Shandy, to a young single mom who had 3 children who didn't have a place to live. But tonight, at this racetrack, it was time for Jimmy Johnson to take back the lead point as the top contender for the 2008 Chase Championship. Jimmy Johnson takes the win.
Great work, boys. That's the way we roll.
Excited as they should
Back
be.
in the day. Great job, buddy. Great job. What a way to end the week.
Kyle Busch still fighting for this spot. He's going to beat Casey Kane to the line.
Well, Casey Kane didn't need that to happen. That's just some points again. We keep pointing that out, but that cost him a couple of points right there.
That was 7th spot.
Yeah. Hamlin was 3rd, Harvick 4th, Kenseth 5th, Edwards.
There's Rick Hendrick and Chad Knaus, the boss, giving them all a hug, and these guys, well-deserved effort down there.
Dominating effort.
Yeah, Kyle Busch was actually in that spot where Casey Kane was trying to take it away there. We see Casey had just made the pass on him.
Out of control. Still beats him to the line.
And got the spot back. How about that? Sideways, coming out of the turn and got the spot back.
Clint Warrior ending up with the top 10. David Rudeman, a great run, finishing 9th tonight. That was a team that really needed a solid run like that. Dale Jr. 11th. You see Jimmy Johnson spinning down in the infield here.
Yeah, 48 team own this race tonight.
This will be a night that Jimmy Johnson will remember for a long time. He got his very first NASCAR Sprint Cup victory at this racetrack in 2002. And now 33 races and 2 championships later, he comes back to the home track and just dominates.
Mention all the good things that they were doing in the San Diego area. That's very important to Jimmy and his wife, that they can do things. And you know, my dad told me something a long time ago. Good things happen to good people. So I guess something pretty good happened to him. Shannon?
Yeah, guys.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
This has been a special presentation of ABC Sports, spanning the globe to bring you the biggest events in the wide world of sports.